everyone! In this video I have a mixed media scrapbook process to share with you with the Thompson's Craft Supplies design team. This is my first project with June's Vintage Charm kit, which is such a pretty kit. Now there's a lot of stuff in this kit, especially in the ephemera pieces and cut aparts and stuff that's about friendship and stuff, so I thought best make a scrapbook layout with a picture of my best friends, and me is in the picture too. But yes, anyways, the paper I'm starting off with is actually an add-on for the kit, so I will link that for you. It's one of the Stamperia papers, and I'm just, as per usual, putting a layer of clear gesso on, and I am making sure, because there's a wood grain effect in this paper and it's a vertical one, I am brushing the gesso on vertically, so if there's any brush strokes can be seen, then at least it matches the paper, kind of thing. And then I'm going in with some heavy white gesso with a sponge. That's just a makeup sponge from Poundland. It's certainly not a specific mixed media tool. And yes, just covering up the area that I'm going to want to do like most of my mixed media on and do my inks and stuff, because obviously you spray the inks over the, the pattern paper, they're going to be slightly discoloured and stuff, so the white background is best for that. But first, I'm going to do some stamping. So the first stamp I'm using is something I bought as an add-on for the kit. I'm not sure if it's an official add-on, but it's definitely available in store. Or it was last time I checked. It's the Flutterby Texture stamp by Craft. And I'm just going in with Stays On ink and stamping that just around the place. You won't be able to see loads of the stamp once all like everything else goes on top of it, just like little hints of it and stuff, but that's kind of what I was going for. And then I'm using this little lace border stamp, which is from the kit. There's another Craft stamp set in the kit, and I am just sort of, I'm not using a stamp block for that because I didn't really want it to be like the perfect stamp or straight edges or anything. I wanted it a little bit rough, so that's why I'm just sort of bending it and stuff, and as I said, not using the stamp block. Next, goodness me, I'm going quite fast today. I'm using some Ranger opaque crackle paste, and I am just scraping that on with a little plastic palette knife thing. Quite a thin layer of it, just because I just wanted a slight crackle effect. Basically, the thinner the paste is, the finer your crackles, I suppose. The finer it is, the more crackles you get. When it's a big chunky bit, you're going to get quite thick crackles. So yes, that's what I'm just doing, and there's also some kind of like a crackly effect on the paper as well. So now, inking time. I just showed you a second ago there, I've got Dilutions in Rose Quartz, Distress in Picket Stain, Lindy's in Mad Hatter Mint, and Heidi Swap Colour Shine in Blush. 3 of which obviously very pinky colours. The Rose Quartz is looking really purple actually on my screen at the moment. I promise you it isn't, but I did tone it down a little bit with that picket fence, just because I did want quite subtle pinky colours, because obviously, pretty shabby chic. We don't want any really strong colours, and that's the thing with Dilutions. They are very strong colours. 95% of the time that's good, that's what you want, but sometimes you just want to tone it down a little bit. You don't have to have a white ink, so to speak, to do that. You can do it with gesso, with acrylic paint, whatever. And yeah, so I'm kind of putting a bunch of ink on, drying that layer, putting more ink on, drying that layer, etc, etc. I just kind of keep doing that for a while, and when the ink starts to move somewhere where I don't want it to be, I just use the baby wipe. I'm using a sponge here to move the ink around, just because I thought it would give maybe a different effect or something, and also the ink sometimes wasn't going in the places I wanted it to go, so I was just sort of encouraging the ink to do what I wanted it to do. So yes, another load of the Rose Quartz, kind of dulled down with the picket fence. When it's dry, actually, on the screen, it looks kind of a lilac colour, but it is more of a pinky lilac. But yes, now I am playing with one of my latest mixed media acquisitions. This is glass bead texture paste, or textured gel. It's basically just gloss gel medium with loads and loads of tiny little clear beads in. They're pretty much the size of micro beads, maybe slightly bigger than micro beads actually, but yes, I saw, who was it, Missy Widden on YouTube use it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I want it. And so come payday, I bought some for myself, and I mixed it there with some Lindy's Magical Shakers. That was in the Magnolia Magenta Gold, I'm gonna say. Yes, and then using the Craft stencil from the kit to put that on there. Now, it did dry. It's a really lovely pastel pink colour at the moment, but when it dried, it was a lot of a stronger pink. So I ended up covering up a bit more of it than like I initially planned to, just because it wasn't quite the right colour that I wanted. and it's really glossy. I mean, I knew that, like I knew it was going to dry glossy because it is basically gloss gel, but it didn't just look quite right. So maybe in the future I might tone it down a bit with some gesso or modelling paste or something, just because, I don't know, I prefer more matte things than glossy things, generally speaking. But it is very, very pretty. Not cheap, though, I will add. I will link it, of course, but yes. I'm going to add a little bit more colour with a blending tool and the ink that came in the kit. There are 4 colours to choose from. There's this one, which is Merman. Well, not to choose from. I'll talk about it in a sec. There's Merman, there's a peach colour, there's a pink colour, and another one, which I can't remember what they are. I did message Louise earlier to ask, but I think she might be working. So, yes, I don't know what the 4th colour is. But basically, you get one at random in the kit. But if there is a specific colour out of the 4 that you would really, really want, then you can always message Louise and she will do her best to accommodate the colour that you want, subject to stock and stuff, obviously. But yes, just letting you know. So I got the colour Merman because being design team, I definitely get to choose. And obviously I wanted this very lovely pastel mint colour. And yeah, as I said, just using a blending tool and just adding a little bit of that minty green just around that general area of colour and stuff. And I think it looks so much better with that extra depth of colour there. So yes, backing my photo, obviously, as you can see, I printed it off in black and white just because I thought it would pop better off the page. I've put a little doily or a scrap of a doily there, and to back the photo I've just got random papers from my stash, just like the cheap ones that you buy from the range in the works. I always have a bunch of these, mostly for backing photos. It's also partially because when I do my first project with the kit, I'm not ready to cut into any more of the 12x12s just to back a photo. By the time we get to my 3rd or 4th project, I'm ready to do that, but at this stage I'm not. But as you saw, that sort of the paper with the sort of peachy pink diamond pattern on, I wasn't 100% happy with it, so I just inked it up with the ink that was kind of left on the blending tool just to get a hint of that minty green colour. And I'm also colouring that second doily as well, just because I thought it would look more interesting that way. Now, oh, I've caught up with myself. Have a breather. Okay, lace, I wanted to include that. I'm going through all like the little bits and pieces that came with the kit, including this butt ton of ephemera. Seriously, there's loads, but I'm just picking out a couple of bits that, you know, I particularly like and I thought would go quite well on this layout. That long bit there, you probably saw me cut that off a minute ago. That was from because there's 2 cut apart sheets, 12x12s in this kit, and there's one that's more journaling card size and there's one that's long strips. Both my title, which is this True Friendship Isn't One Big Thing, It Is a Million Little Things. Yeah, that's my title. I split it because there was no way I could have it go all the way across without looking a bit ugh. So yeah, I split it, as you see. And with both the title and with this strip, I've sort of physically distressed the edges with a distressing tool, and I'm going to go in and blend some ink around the edges as well. Now, you do not, you know, if you don't have a blending tool, don't worry about it. You can easily do that just by dabbing the physical ink pad, you know, on the edge of it yourself. It does, as I say, just in case you don't have a blending tool, that is something you can do. So yes, picture, I don't really have lots to say about the picture really. It's just a picture of myself and my 2 best friends, Alice and Zoe. We were at Cam's Planacon, we took a bunch of selfies outside. That's all I really have to say about that. Yes, so right now I'm using some matte gel medium. Everything goes down with matte gel medium, I think, in this layout, actually. Don't think I use any gloss at all. But I'm putting down that, oh, what's it called? Is it Sisal? I don't know. I'll Google it in a minute. That strawy stuff, you know, and just putting that down, bundling it up, putting it on top of the gloss, and also putting a little bit of gel medium on top of it, just to help it stick down kind of thing. It's one of those things that just looks kind of good for a mixed media thing. You know, when you see projects by the really big mixed media artists like Finavera and stuff, and you're just like, I don't know how you did it, it's just so glorious, and I don't know, it's just little things like this, you know, cheating little things like this. I mean, obviously with people like that, there's, you know, some serious raw talent going on too, but yeah, little things like that, they're the easiest thing to add, but they look so good. If you're wondering about those scissors I put down from, you know, they look a bit random with all the florals and doilies and stuff. The reason I put those down is because Zoe and Alice and I met through the fact that we're all crafty people. We're all crafty, stationery loving, planner loving, that kind of thing. So that is how we all met and got to know each other. So I thought putting the scissors down is just a little nod to that kind of thing. I actually get really annoyed now when people refer them though as my crafty friends, because I'm like, they're my best friends, they're not just my crafty friends anymore kind of thing. So anyway, little random side note there. What am I doing? Oh, so we got 2 packs of sort of little pretty things. We've got the flat back pearls, really small ones, they're about 3mm I'd say, and then there's the pack of neat and tangled sequins. I'm putting the pearls around where I've put the sisal, whatever, and because there was already the gel down there that I put down, I didn't really need to add any extra. So all the pearls are going around there. There's a mix of pink ones, lilac ones, I think there's a blue one, and then obviously pearl coloured ones, and then sequins as well, just kind of all over the place. For the most part, it's pearls near the picture, sequins further out kind of thing. And I've just put all of the colours down, introduced that yellow. It's not a very strong yellow, so it doesn't really matter that I've just introduced it onto, you know, with the sequins kind of thing. And the very last thing I'm going to do is add some splatters with the Distress Picket Stain. I'm just shaking it up there. Does anyone else, you know the bottles that you get that have the little ball in to help it shake, like this stuff, and with Heidi Swap? I really love the noise when you shake it, you know, the click, 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 click. I really love it. Fellow weirdos, please make me feel better and tell me you enjoy that noise too. It's just one of those things. Anyway, yes, white splatters going on there. White splatters, very good for the shabby chic look. Mostly sort of vertically around the picture, but also a couple at the left edge there. And with that, once my splatters are done, I am finished. So there we go. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll just give you some close-ups here of all the mixed media prettiness. This kit goes on sale on the very day that this is being published. It will already be on sale, so I will leave a link to it down below. Yes, please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Comment, subscribe if you haven't already. All those wonderful things. And yes, okay, I'm done. Thank you again. Bye-bye!